Hello everybody and welcome back to Weeknight Hero. As always, I'm your GM, Evan. I thought we'd get into the next character in the Hero... it's called the Character Showcase series, and that's Miss Marvel. Now look. Look. Hold on. I can feel it. I can feel the judgment, but hold on one second. I really liked Miss Marvel. It is in fact my number 2 series in the Disney Plus shows. And I get that you're going to be mad. That's fine. But I think I had announced this previously that I like when these Marvel shows or movies break the mold and decide to just do something different. I thought it was incredibly funny and relatable and all the kinds of things that we would want in just a slice of life kind of show. And you can judge me for it. That's fine. But one thing that I really did enjoy about the Miss Marvel character is the demonstration of these simple lower level encounters. Because I firmly placed the show in like a power level 8 kind of a category. I was wrestling with power level 6, but seeing some of the abilities and combat situations that Kamala is put in, it didn't feel right to be power level 6. Power level 6, if they were using just regular guns, I would consider that a little more of a power level 6, or if they didn't have superpowers, it's right up there with PL6. But with there being superpowers in a lower scaled setting, it's firmly power level 8. But let's get into it. So, Miss Marvel's an interesting case, because you wouldn't think it from the character's abilities, but she's a lot more of a powerhouse than anything else. And that's something that's reflected in her abilities. Now, her abilities are very standard. And that's because she's relying on her powers. You don't need a high strength and stamina investment when you have the growth power. And is clearly shown in the comics and in this era of her story, she's not a trained fighter. So all of these abilities are going to be a bit on the lower end, and she's going to make up for it through prodigious use of powers and also power stunts and hero points. Her defenses are an interesting case because her active defenses are average at best. I don't think she had any intention of training prior to her getting her powers. So obviously those active defenses, the parry and dodge, are going to be a little bit low, and they only get lower with her growth power. It happens. Where she really shines are in her active defenses, particularly thanks to her ability to resist, or in other versions be immune to the mental descriptors, which give her a lot of leeway when it comes to telepathic intrusions. And with her growth power raising her toughness and fortitude thanks to the stamina boost, she is able to take hits that you wouldn't think she would normally be able to. She's a bit like Spider-Man in that way, where they're a lot more durable than you'd think. Now, also as a trainee superhero, she doesn't have a particularly wide range of skills. This is made up for, certainly, with the beginner's luck advantage, which allows her to spend a hero point and get some skills in any particular category that she needs to. So it's not exactly like it's a bad thing. And coming up to her advantages, the real kicker here is that she mostly falls into the strong fighter advantage package that we had created back during the advantages video, because she's really using her strength, her durability, and her size to bully her opponents around her. And especially with that elongation, she's able to make great use of maybe a fast grab or an improved hold in order to defeat opponents that way, really making up for her weaker accuracy and attack by allowing her to grab onto an opponent and just wail on him, which is something I really like. I like just the simple straightforwardness of these everyday heroes. I felt exactly the same way in the Spider-Man video. Now, she has a number of other support powers that go along with her natural abilities, but the key ones that I want to talk about are that growth power, insubstantial power, and particularly that embiggen fist aspect, which add a little more versatility to your standard powerhouse character. So growth naturally makes her grow in size, and it gives her the ability to become a super strong and super durable character as she sees fit. So you can do a little bit of stance work here, is if she wants to deal with an opponent, she can grow in size. If she doesn't want to deal with an opponent and she wants to take the stealthier route, she shrinks. And if she wants to avoid particular situations, like being grabbed, like falling from a great height, she can use that insubstantial power to morph herself into more of a jelly form in order to avoid these kinds of attacks. So while the powers aren't necessarily flashy, they're a great combination, particularly for new heroes, which is why I think it's great for a character like Kamala, because she's able to get away with a lot more by doing a lot less, and particularly in terms of the powers that she uses. And finally, that embiggened fists power presents a wonderful means of hurting or damaging opponents that are more skilled than Kamala. Now, if the character she's fighting really needs to be brought down to her level, the combination of the damage and the affliction that's applied to the embiggened fists really will allow her to even the playing field by throwing on a vulnerable or defenseless. She really is able to bring them down to her level. And if you want to hit them with that and you roll particularly well on the affliction portion of the power, you can take the next round and throw in a power attack on top of it, or a finishing attack, and just knock them out. And that's really how Kamala plays. She can shift and change based on what her opponents are doing, so that she's never really at a disadvantage. And that's what you really want to see with these everyday friendly neighborhood characters, is they're very simple to play and understand, and really, really fun to master when you really get into all their different abilities. And they never really feel like they're weak in any particular area. But that about wraps it up for Miss Marvel. What can I say? She's really easy to understand and a great character to introduce people to the Mutants and Mastermind setting, which is very similar to how she acts in the comics. But with that, remember to like and subscribe. Remember to share the video, spread the word, and contribute to the discussion on here, because I love to see it. And we'll see you guys next time.